Well, hello YouTube, it's me Fortmaster, and welcome back to another Zaktact reaction with more Lancer lore. And this is GMS Space Walmart. So yeah, I'm sorry it's been a little bit since I watched another Zaktact video about Lancer. I lost my list of stuff I've been meaning to do reactions to, and I had to rebuild it, and I forgot about this series. But yeah, I mean, okay, so out of all the, so currently I've watched videos on like 3 manufacturers, so IPSN, like blue collar mechs, I remember like those were the mechs that I loved the designs of, like they were big, heavy, like overly built, usually had like really big guns. And then there was Horus, which can be best described as nightmare fuel in many various ways. And now we have Space Walmart. So I wonder what that says about the actual quality of these mechs. So are these going to be like Space Walmart? Either I'm going to guess it's a big corporation that specializes in just producing lots of really cheap mechs that are easy to replace or something like that. You're gonna have to see. So yeah, of course, as always, original video is linked in the description if you haven't seen it for some reason. Corner video, link to my Let's Play of the day. And if you like this video or any other video that I make, I'd very much appreciate it if you give the video a like and subscribe to my channel, because my main goal for this year is to hopefully hit 5,000 subscribers, and at the current rate I'm going, it's totally doable. Thanks to everybody that's, subscribed to my channel because they liked my videos. But yeah, with all that out of the way, let's get this thing started then, shall we?
Welcome to the largest megacorp in Union Space, GMS, General Massive Systems.
Oh,
or
General Massive Systems. Okay, that just makes them sound like they're really space inefficient.
Space Walmart. So the first question that might come up, especially if you've seen the previous 2 videos, is where does GMS sit compared to the other manufacturers? So it's kind of funky. So in the definition of the Big 4, when it comes to the main manufacturers, there's the gameplay version of the Big 4, which covers where you get your mechs from as a Lancer. But then there's the in-universe version of the Big 4, which is talking about the 4 biggest corporations, in which Horus doesn't really count as a member, because it's not really a corporation.
Yeah,
no, the title of the largest corporation and the oldest amongst the Big 4, the lore version of the Big 4, is GMS. And with oldest, it rivals and is older than IPSN, which can trace its origins back to the Theseus shipyard.
Oh.
GMS is old, namely because it was founded roughly during the early parts of the earlier colonial expansion era, and due to its early investments within the expansion period and all those other colonies and equipment and everything when Union was first building itself up, it just became the standard.
So how does GMS like go even further back? Like, do they have histories to before humanity fell or collapsed or something like that? Like, are they literally just Walmart?
It just became standardized through owning almost everything. Or not everything, but a part of everything. Ship parts? You think that's just IPSN? Nope, GMS has some of that. Military-grade weapons equipment? You're looking at all of that in the book. CompCon, NHP? Yep. Well, CompCon at least. NHP, not sure.
Yeah.
In short, they're everywhere, from just a basic data slate within your hand to parts within a massive spaceship. Your local train station, probably prefabbed from something based off of it, to the basis for almost every generalist chassis, the Everest. Though in part of being everywhere and its oldest ties all the way back to its founding on Cradle, it's highly associated and tied with Union, which honestly is a really fun aspect of it, because one, a lot of its internal politics still work with it, but whenever a Union presence is newly felt on a planet, the first thing that most common people see is GMS, not Union. Some of these distant diaspora worlds only have one Union administrator placed on them, yet all of a sudden, all the tech after joining Union, GMS. That stark, gray, general function, reliable. It has this weird double-edged appearance of when Union is finally on a planet and the planet has access to GMS prints. It's a real utilitarian gray. Standard, boxy, nowhere near complex or flashy, which aligns with the impression a lot of people have on Union. Box, utility, standard gray.
Okay, so just from like a world building standpoint, I can almost imagine how that works. So if GMS is like the first one in usually, So, like, as, like, the world is being built up, GMS kind of, like, takes over everything. But then, as things get settled, the other manufacturers start, like, worming their way in. And that's when, as worlds develop, that's when, like, you can see, like, other buildings and other prefabs and other things start to, you know, grow and expand as people begin getting, you know, more variety in their tech purchases. Oh, okay. I could imagine. That'd be fun. Interesting. Kind of puts a nice spin on the you know, the old fashioned, you know, human construction, stuff like that, just big gray boxy and stuff like that.
It doesn't help that the actual uniform colors of Union are gray and white.
Also, I love the fact I love the Titanfall footage being shown in the background.
Interesting mix, that. Just, you know, standard gray parts, standard gray suit, standard gray galactic power.
I mean, you know, it makes sense. I mean, how much money do you think GMS saves on paint since they only have, like, the 1 or 2 colors? I mean, Henry Ford said it best. You can have it in any color you want as long as it's black. Or gray in this instance.
But outside of that, there's not much to talk about. Yes, oldest. Yes, mostly associated with Union. That interesting little political bit of utility, bureaucracy, galactic empire. But there isn't a lot on it. It's not personalized. It's not specialized. It is the galactic standard. Your McDonald's, your Walmart, etc. But to be fair, that's a gap that needs to be filled. Due to their extreme close association with Union and Cradle, they are not really their own corpo state. Kind of. I mean, a lot of people see them as the Union corpo state. Again, that whole thing of the utility gray suit, etc. It's the backbone. You know? The humble, everywhere, general utility, your prints for colonies, your prints for prefabs, trains, cities, settlements, ship parts. Reliable. Baseline. And while lore-wise they don't seem to be really that flashy, they were the first company to make mechs. Out of the first hard suits.
Really? Okay.
Up armored arms. While a lot of their lore doesn't seem that flashy, they were the first megacorp to actually make mechs. Out of the first up armored hard suits. In the year 4500 U, we'd have our first chassis. On Ras Shamra.
I don't know what that is.
The homeworld of Harrison Armory. Ah, that old Union Seccom weapons branch. Investments pay off for Harrison. But
yeah, okay, I don't know what that is. Is there a video about that? Because hopefully that could... Oh, yes, there is. Okay.
Speaking of said mech, you can actually pick one up. Well, not even just pick one up, you start with it. It is the generalist chassis that is in the entirety of Union space, which has thousands, if not probably way more localized patterns. And due to its thousands of localized frames, we have a blessing and a curse, and it's the Everest. Yep.
It's there.
That's the mountain. The frame itself has no picture or art, but it is the starting frame, and has actual stats that can carry it, honestly, through a whole game. It's not really the start or prologue to getting into mechs. You could build an entire character revolving around just using an Everest.
I mean, I could totally see, you know, I mean, depending, I don't know how, the base details of the game, but I mean, if, you know, the Everest is so, like, widely supplied, I mean, operating and repairing it must be super cheap. If you have, like, so many spare parts that you can get from basically anywhere. So, I mean, depending on how the game is actually run, I could potentially see a character run where, like, their whole gimmick in battle is that they count on getting, like, heavily damaged, or possibly even getting the mech like almost completely destroyed in any engagement. But because it's so easy to get spare parts for the thing, it's like you basically can get it completely up and running again after, like, any engagement.
And due to the fact it has dozens of localized patterns and is really easily changeable parts, you can use any picture you want. And it'd still pretty much be canonical. Or at least fit in. Even when it comes to specialization or core bonuses.
Yeah.
All the special abilities of the Everest are just do things better or have an additional action. A lot of weapon mounts, a large variety amongst them. Pretty decent stats.
Okay, so now I'm getting... Okay, so, man, if I played this game, I could literally just use a picture of a Titan from Titanfall, and they'd just be, fine.
Especially with building up your pilot and your talents and the various equipment you can pick up with it and take from other licenses, you can make some busted stuff. It's the Swiss Army knife, but you need to get a lot of the knives and the tools.
You get, like, the handle, but you have to apply the knives yourself. Which, I mean, I could totally see as being a pain, but at the end of the day, you do get a very... useful multi-tool that is purely yours.
Tools? Just take them from over here, put them in here. That isn't to say it starts empty. It is still a Swiss Army knife. That's because of all the other equipment you get. So while everything else, weapons, systems, upgrades, frames, locked behind those licenses, the Everest you get out the gate, and everything else GMS you also get out the gate. And that covers a wide range of things. When it comes to weapons, you want knives, pistols, guns? Hey, that's your Type 1 weapons right there. Your usual kinetics, reliable, easily replaceable parts and repairs. What about energy? Plasma-sheathed weapons, laser guns, plasma guns? You've got Type 2. Type 3, the miscellaneous category. We go from heavy ordnance to something called exotic.
Ooh.
But you have your smart weapons, which is hordes of nanites, which is half hangar, half factory. Fire it out, goes after them.
Mm-hmm.
And the types really don't matter. It's just in the book and a lot of the descriptions on like, hey, this is where this weapon sits within GMS, roughly patterned together. But, assault rifles, rocket pods, giant blades, plasma-sheathed blades, energy weapons, beam weapons, nanite swarms. You've got it. All out the gate. From level 0.
Nanite swarms, that... Again, just... After, the whole... Again, whenever I hear that, the first thing I think of is that one scene from the Day the Earth Stood Still remake movie, where you have, like, the, oh, God, I'm forgetting what its name, but the big robot, and they're, like, doing tests on it, but then, like, the one scientist that's in there, his suit starts getting eaten away, and then he starts eating away before they... hit the rocket booster to try to burn it. Oh, God, that's not a good movie, but that scene. Ooh.
And because of that, you can add any of these to your other licenses, and you probably will. Namely just because you can't fill out everything early levels from a single license. So while we're talking about everything else you'd get from a different license of another mech, when it comes to everything GMS and Everest, you have it. Just put it on. That also stretches towards their systems, which range from things you understand, mines, grenades, smoke charges, cover, shields, but then also custom paint job.
Ooh.
Now, custom paint job. Whenever your mech would reach 0 HP and about to lose a structure, you just roll a d6. On a 6, it just scratched the paint. And you can't use it again for that scene. Essentially encounter, but a 1 in 6 chance, just every encounter go like, yep, nope, that didn't do that.
1 in 6 chance. So wait, so if 1 in 5 is 20, what's 1 in 6? So 6, like a just over 16.5% chance that just you won't die from an attack. Okay. Okay, I can imagine that coming in clutch every once in a while.
Actually, it might take a repair. But just a custom paint job, it's not worth that many system points. You can just slap it onto a mech to get that additional just d6 chance. And then personalizations, that just adds 2 HP, which is actually really good, because that's for every structure on a mech. Then even has a description within it that just says like, hey, talk to your GM. Maybe your mech gives you accuracy on a certain bonus related to said personalization. You can actually have it do something, or at least give you a dice bonus when doing something. Slap an easy AI unit into it so it can function on its own or move around without you. Extra storage space, or an extra place for a pilot, or not pilot, but like a passenger of some kind. Generalist things that you can easily slap on any of these other chassis that we've talked about, or more that we still have to talk about. Just simple, all-round, easy-to-apply things that you can slap onto any chassis, and it's not a bad thing. That even stretches to their core bonuses, which we haven't really talked about core bonuses yet. Gonna talk about those in their own video, but
okay.
The thing is, everything else in the core bonuses, highly specialized, just a general buff to all your chassis.
Okay, so I said before that IPSN sounds like the mechs that I'd love. But just the fact that on this, you get a bonus to just not dying if you just give your mech a funny paint job. Like, that is just beautiful. That is just beautiful. I love that.
Less tied to system points, more tied to its own thing. While Horus stuff is cool, same with Harrison Armory, the generalist stuff within GMS, hey, do you want an extra weapon mount? Do you want to just do an extra dice of damage per round? Do you want to potentially just get your core ability back on a refund and heal automatically that round? There are so many really good just general upgrades within GMS.
Ooh.
Again, it's the galactic standard, even to the point of the equipment you're using within game, not just lore-wise. In the fact that all these other specializations have to make up for something, because GMS already fills a void. So next time you're designing your chassis or planning out a character, give a second look at the Everest. And GMS in general. They're there. Open 24/7. At a discount. No, this comes out in December. This comes out in December.
Oh, honestly, it, like, the whole thing, like, I honestly, like, I don't, like, when I start getting deeper into these lore videos, I'm very tempted to start looking into, like, you know how, like, there are videos about, like, D&D, talking about, like, character builds and stuff like that. Oh God, honestly, where is the video in this playlist where he starts actually talking about the game itself? Because honestly, I'm loving the lore to this, but now I'm actually wanting to learn about how the actual game itself plays. Oh God, on it. Yeah, again, but like, again, like, just the simple, like, honestly, like, simple just all-around buffs like that can be so powerful. Like, again, like a chance of, like, just 1 in 6 of not dying because you have a fancy paint job, or, like, you customizing, just adding, like, little physical things to your mech, and that adds, like, actual health. Like, honestly, I love the idea of that. It's really good. But yeah, I guess that's definitely going to be it for now. So, yeah, I hope you guys liked. If you did, leave a like, subscribe if you have not, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.